Most people would say it's fairly obvious that Black Adam was a big box office failure. But to the dedicated DCU fanboys, it seems the obvious numbers aren't enough. Among them is The Rock, whose damage control regarding the whole situation has become rather embarrassing. In today's video, we'll be discussing some of the main details about how The Rock has been defending the film's box office numbers. Let's dive into the video. Starting off, The Rock's Black Adam box office damage control is embarrassing. A few days after Variety said that Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam was unlikely to make much money, if any, Deadline published an article claiming that Variety was mistaken and that Black Adam is performing well at the box office. And now, the celebrity has also added his 2 cents. He said he waited to share fantastic Black Adam news with the fans, but was waiting until he got a confirmation from their funders. The star added that their movie would profit between $52 to $72 million. The celebrity tweeted, saying that by making approximately $400 million globally, they're establishing their new franchise step by step for the future of DC. He then provided a link to the Deadline piece we talked about earlier. It uses a highly strange way of framing the film's financial sources. According to the article, the merchandise was added as a way of generating back-channel profit. While it's true that this would, in fact, save the movie from being a complete failure, it still doesn't affect its box office performance one bit, and suggesting such a thing is just being disingenuous. The report also failed to account for the theater's cuts of ticket sales, which we're imagining is quite a significant number that'd bring down the film's overall profits. All in all, The Rock using this article as a way of trying to showcase that the film was performing well isn't a great look. It just comes across as desperate, because it's clear that the research and details mentioned in it aren't completely accurate. Moving on, here's how Black Adam compares to Captain America, the First Avenger. Let's compare Black Adam and Captain America, the First Avenger, which both Deadline and Johnson highlighted as somewhat hazy proof that Black Adam's alleged meager profit could guarantee a sequel. It's absurd that someone would compare the millions made by these two films, which were released 10 years apart, on a one-to-one basis. The First Avenger, which had a budget of roughly $140 million at the time, made about $370 million worldwide. But after accounting for inflation, its earnings would be about $490 million today. Plus, Thor outperformed Captain America, the First Avenger, as the highest-grossing Marvel movie in 2011, with a staggering $450 million, which translates to roughly $600 million today. So, is Johnson implying that he, a celebrity who's far more influential than Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth were when they made their Marvel debuts in 2011, is not able to produce a film that's equally profitable? This just feels like another random comparison that doesn't take into account the hundreds of other factors that exist. While it might be able to satiate fans who are only looking at things from a narrow lens, it's clear to anyone who does the tiniest bit of research that Johnson's just trying to save face. Up next, could there be another meaning to Johnson's statement? That said, if we were to give The Rock the benefit of the doubt, there may be another thing he could be referring to. He could be saying that Captain America, the First Avenger, despite only making $370 million, still managed to get 2 sequels, each of which performed far better. In 2014, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, brought in $714 million worldwide, while in 2016, Captain America Civil War brought in $1.15 billion. This could be a similar case to Black Adam. Maybe despite the first part not being a huge success, it's possible that potential sequels may be able to turn a larger profit. There's definitely some connective tissue connecting the films in that case. Although Black Adam was intended to begin a new era in the DC universe, with the appearance of Superman and numerous references to other Justice League and Justice Society characters, its underwhelming performance is quite worrisome, especially now that Henry is officially out as Superman. In terms of Johnson's career, it's better to compare Black Adam to Hobbs and Shaw, the 2019 Fast and Furious spin-off movie. Johnson co-stars in that movie, and it grossed an astounding $770 million in cinemas against a $200 million production budget. That said, Black Adam didn't open in all the international markets that film did, and faced a worldwide pandemic. But even then, there's a significant difference if we consider Johnson's personal appeal and star power. Now for, what's the verdict on The Rock's tweet regarding Black Adam's box office success? In the end, Johnson has a true passion for his movie, and you just have to admire it. The star is proud of his effort. His passion aside, we think The Rock should stop himself from posting a random puff piece that states that his film is going to make a $50 million profit, especially when a recent report from The Hollywood Reporter about the future DC movie slate flatly stated a Black Adam sequel in fact looking very unlikely, given its poor performance. All of this seems a touch timid coming coming from maybe Hollywood's toughest celebrity. Amazon and Apple both provide streaming for Black Adam, so it's maybe the film might find a new life via streaming. But we're not holding our breath. Let's talk about why exactly Black Adam performed as bad as it did. We're sure people can find tons of reasons why the movie didn't manage to do so well in the cinema. The current DC Universe's straightforward narrative and clumsy world building didn't please many critics or fans, and Black Adam just seems to be yet another addition that does more of the same. The Rock stated that the reason behind the movie's reduced performance compared to Black Panther 2 was the fact that it's a newer brand and franchise, and so it's obvious that it had no chance of competing with an established brand like Black Panther. But let's keep in mind that the original Black Panther was a massive hit too, despite the character being relatively new for most cinema goers. Johnson's defense in this case feels a bit weak, and we think it'd be better if instead he looked into the actual reasons behind the film doing so poorly. It can mostly be chalked up to the poor script and uninteresting story elements. Warner Brothers made the hopeful decision to choose producer Peter Safran and filmmaker James Gunn to successfully steer the future of DC Studios. So who knows, maybe there's a chance for the DCU after all. Not to mention, was Black Adam a financial failure? The movie's domestic box office run has virtually ended since it's now available for digital purchase in the US. At the domestic box office, this movie came in at number 7, surpassing titles like Shazam and Birds of Prey. An estimated $200 million was spent on Black Adam's production. The Rock's first DC movie is probably profitable for the studio, even after accounting for marketing expenses. These are normally half of the production cost, given its almost $400 million global revenue. The biggest studios invest so much money in these massive blockbuster movies, mostly for financial reasons. Marvel Studios' extraordinary financial performance over the past 10 years has established a benchmark for consistently high-budget productions that generate a profit. Projects with budgets exceeding $200 million carry a larger risk, but for studios, especially those who are continuously losing money on streaming, the reward might be well worth the risk. The Black Adam character, played by Dwayne Johnson, might make a comeback in the long-term game Gunn and Safran are developing. Black Adam wasn't a failure. It isn't openly despised or contentious. It just existed, managed to turn a profit, and kept the ship afloat as we approach 2023. Moving on, a new Black Adam movie spin-off is reportedly in development at Warner Brothers. While a sequel might be uncertain currently, it seems a Black Adam spin-off movie is seemingly being developed by Warner Brothers and Dwayne Johnson's production company. The information on whether Warner Brothers considered the DC Universe movie Black Adam to be a success or a failure in the weeks and months after its release has been, at best, hazy. Even though Dwayne Johnson's DC movie had the most box office success in the weeks before Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, it had little to no competition after that, and has apparently been losing money ever since. The single metric of success, or the factor that can lead to a new franchise in the case of Black Adam though, isn't ticket sales. Deadline revealed that a Hawkman spin-off is now being created by Dwayne Johnson's 7 Bucks Productions in a part of a recent Black Adam piece that has since been removed. Aldous Hodge portrayed Hawkman, the head of the Justice Society of America in Black Adam, and if this spin-off does happen, it's likely that he'll return for the role. But it's probably a good idea to take this news with a grain of salt. If anything had been confirmed, we're sure The Rock would be the first person to be screaming it at the top of his lungs. Lastly, will James Gunn and Safran support a Hawkman movie? Fans and Business Insiders anticipated a sequel before Black Adam even hit cinemas. It appears that Warner Brothers was preparing a Black Adam vs. Superman style movie based on the post-credits scenes material. Given that James Gunn and Peter Safran have been chosen to lead this newly titled DC Studios, fans are less convinced that any of this is going to happen. With the recent announcement that Henry Cavill is officially out as Superman, and that they're instead making a young Superman movie with a new actor, we think it's obvious that whatever plan Johnson had has been abandoned. But because Johnson's own studio is producing this Hawkman movie, it's unclear if Gunn and Safran have been contacted, and if so, how will the pair support Johnson and his plans for the Black Adam series? Hodge's performance was warmly praised by the audience. Plus, we think that his character can carry a movie on his own. Still, it's difficult to predict Hawkman and Black Adam's destiny for now. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Black Adam was a box office failure? Comment below, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.